Not yet. I've got 3 minutes.
Hey, everybody, let's all stand up and have a good time. What do you say? We're having a great service. It's the Namaste song. Sing along if you know it. And if you don't, you can pretend. That's the Namaste way. Here at Namaste, we feel some kind of way. It's something about. We say we love, we really love. We see you, we care. Please be yourself while you're here. That's exactly what keeps me coming back. Yeah, Namaste, we feel some kind of way. It's something about when we say we love, we really love. We see you, we care. Please be yourself while you're here. That's exactly what keeps me coming back. Here at Namaste, we feel some kind of way. It's something about when we say we love, we really love. We see you, we care. Please be yourself while you're here. That's exactly what keeps me coming back. Here at Namaste, we feel some kind of way. Something about when we say we love, we really love. We see you, we care. Please be yourself while you're here. That's exactly what. That's exactly what keeps me coming back. That's exactly what keeps me coming back. Yeah.
Yes, yes, yes. Thank you, thank you.
Thank you, Namaste. Thank you.
Yes. Whew, got my heart rate up. I love it. Come to church and get a little cardiovascular at the same time. Love it. Got to shake a leg here at Namaste. Good afternoon, Namaste. So glad you could all be with us this afternoon, and glad that you can join us online here in our beautiful sanctuary. If you are new, we are so glad that you are here with us. And for the rest of you here, welcome back. Yes, yes. Namaste is a radically welcoming community. We believe all paths lead to an awakening. We are here collectively revealing that love is the nature of who we already are. I want to say that again. This is the truth, that love is the nature of who we already are. So you might be wondering, who are we? So let's proclaim it right now. Let's say this together. This light up here, very good. All right, let's say this together. I honor the place in you in which the entire universe dwells. I honor the place in you, which is love, truth, light, and peace. When you are in that place in you, and I am in that place in me, we recognize that we are one. Namaste. Yes. If you did not, we have prayer cards that were offered in the foyer before you entered. If you did not receive one and you'd like one, please raise your hand, and our welcoming team will bring you a prayer card. You can fill it out and then place it in the prayer box on your way out, and just know that when you release it into that prayer box, it is released into the law that only says yes. And then we have practitioners praying on your prayer requests all week. So thank you for submitting your prayer requests with us. And now, let's hear from Kong.
All right, let's stand up and have a good time. What do you say? We've done this song a lot. Pretty sure you know it by now. It's called We Come Together. And that's what we're here to do, everybody. Let's come together. Take a look at the person next to you. Say, I recognize the God in you. I feel the love in the sanctuary. Lift your voice and repeat after me. We come together. Come together. Come together. We come together. Come together. In the name of love. We come together. Come together. We come together. Come together. We come together. Come together. In the name of love. Take a look at the person next to you. Say, God loves me and I love you too. Now feel the love in the sanctuary. Lift your voice and repeat after me. We come together. Come together. We come together. Come together. We come together. Come together. In the name of love. We come together. Come together. Come together. We come together. Come together. In the name of love. From every walk of life, every creed and color, oh, kinship we unite in honor of the God in each other. Yeah. Take a look at the person next to you. Say, namaste, I bow to you. Now live love in the sanctuary. Lift your voice and repeat after me. We come together. Come together. Come together. Come together. Come together. Come together. In the name of love, we come together. We come together. In the name of love. In the name of love. In the name of love.
Thank you, Des and Kong, and thank you, everyone, for joining in the raising the roof and the energy in the house today. I'd like to invite our practitioner emeritus, Chuck Spencer, to bring the candle forward and light it for us. This candle stays lit throughout our service as a symbol of the light that we are in the world, the light that each life is, as we are on this spiritual journey having a human experience. This candle always reminds me that the light is always there. The light is always there, even when I perceive it dimming or there is a darkness. I know this light shines brightly within me, for this is the nature of spirit. This is the all good. Thank you, Chuck. At this time, I invite you all to read our affirmation. And let's adopt those beginner eyes and really feel it in our hearts. Okay. Ready? The love of the all good is through me and as me. That love is how I meet all I come in contact. Love radiates as all and flows as all. That love is perfect. This is Meditation Sunday, and that means we're going to do a meditation in our service. So as a reminder, please refrain from clapping after the next musical number. I invite you to stay in that sweet silence and that beautiful tone that our musicians are going to set for us. And now, let us pray. I recognize the all that is Spirit, this one life, this one essence, this one power and presence that is love, everywhere present. Love abides. Spirit is peace and wholeness. Spirit is that infinite wisdom, intelligence, and joy of the all good. Spirit is givingness, and there is nothing and no one that can keep us from our good. Thank you, life. Thank you, Spirit, for the all expressing in, as, and through each and every individual, through all creatures, great and small. All life is an emanation of this one. I am grateful. I give thanks for the message Spirit has for us this day, and for Reverend Bobby, who has availed herself to that message, who has answered the call. So I invite us to open our hearts and our ears and to go within during this service to know that greatest expression of God as us. And so it is. I'd like to invite up our Board of Trustee member, Debbie Ann Vokes. She has just a few announcements for us.
Thank you, Candace. Good afternoon, namaste. It's wonderful to see everybody here in the sanctuary and also everybody watching us virtually. First thing I'd like to do is ask everyone to go and say hello to someone here in the sanctuary. Just take a couple minutes here, go say hello, introduce yourself. Hi, Reverend Bobby, I'm Debbie Ann. Yeah, round them back up, yes. Yes.
You want to go? Everybody and scream, yeah, we are family. We are family. Oh, oh.
Wonderful. Thank you so much.
Keep doing it for a second.
Yeah. Awesome. Thank you so much, everyone. I love it that we get to share who we are and introduce ourselves to everyone, whether it's for the first time or the multiple times that you introduce yourself and say hello. Okay. All right. Welcome back. First thing we're going to do this afternoon is talk about our mission here at Namaste, and I'm going to ask you to read this along with me. And our mission is, I learn practical science of mind tools and practice in a loving, connective, and vibrant community to reveal my power and change my life. Oh, so powerful. And how do we do that? Reverend Bobby talked about this last week in her message about how we awaken to a new truth in our lives. Then we realize how that truth has played out in our lives. We take that knowledge and we transform our lives, and then we repeat this process over and over again. Two important spiritual offerings here at Namaste is our 7 a.m. weekday morning call. And you can join us on Zoom, or you can just dial in on your phone. And every morning, our lovely practitioners offer prayer and support and connection, and all of that information is available on our newsletter or our website. Another great offering here at Namaste is the Safe Place. It's an ongoing hour-long grief support group every second Wednesday at 7 p.m. or every fourth Monday at 10 a.m. We've created the Safe Place to support grief from life events, the changes they bring, and to find comfort in community. Register on Eventbrite and look within our newsletter and Facebook for that link. Some quick thank yous. We want to thank Cheryl for her amazing and rich flute accompaniment last week. I don't know if, yeah, absolutely outstanding. Yes, the flute, it's just so beautiful. So it just melodic. It was amazing. And Ken Meyer, our very own Ken Meyer, for bringing back his beautiful beats last week, sharing with us. I want to thank everybody that joined us for fellowship, either before or after service, and got to eat some delicious treats and share time and conversation with everybody. And of course, our incredible welcome team and everybody that pitched in to make that fellowship wonderful. Last thing I want to mention is the board of Namaste. We get together and we tithe every month to the home office, the CSL home office, and also a local Long Beach, usually Long Beach community charity. And I want to share with you that last month we tithed to the St. Francis Center of Long Beach. They serve the homeless by feeding, providing clothes and necessities, and they are renovating at this time. They closed for a little bit under renovation, so our tithe went towards that. So we'd like to share. That's an ongoing monthly thing, and we will always share where we send our tithes so that you are aware. And now I'm going to invite up Reverend Veronica to speak about digging deeper.
Hello again. Yes, so Wednesday, May 4th, this is the first Wednesday of the month, we have Digging Deeper. And on this May 4th, we are having Michael Almarez, and he is a hypnotherapist. He makes his living as a hypnotherapist, neurolinguistic programmer, and life coach. And he's been doing this for a really long time. He's done hypnotherapy for Olympic athletes, CEOs of companies, and he's had amazing results. And so I wanted to invite him to share with us about our mindset, after 2.5 years of COVID and so much change. Like, how can we feel safe in a world that's continuously changing, where the rules keep changing and the mask mandates change and then they change back? And so how can we feel safe? And how can we live the lifestyle you want in an ever-changing world? How do you see yourself evolving and moving through the fears that have been stored in your subconscious mind, especially over the last 2.5 years of COVID? Where do you start? Michael Almarez has used hypnotherapy for many years, and so he's a great presenter too as well. And so I'm looking forward to having him on May 4th at 7 p.m. Please register on Eventbrite or through the Namaste website, and hope to see you there. Thank you so much. And now we're going to turn it over to Kong for our meditative song and move into the meditative portion of our service. Thank you.
God is holding me with every breath and every step. God is holding me. 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 I'm held in love, I'm held in peace. God is holding me with every breath, every step. God is holding me. 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 God is holding me.
So I invite you to drop just a little bit deeper. God is holding us. We meditate in community as a spiritual practice to lean into the power and oneness that can be experienced by meditating in a group. So keeping your eyes closed or looking down and softening your gaze. Trying to relax and slow your breathing. To help let your thoughts go, follow your breath coming in and leaving. And when your mind strays, don't fuss. Instead, just return to following your breath, coming in and exhaling. God is holding you. God is holding your heart. And in that sweet safety of spirit, I invite you to open your heart. Open to the love that you are. Open to the divine nature that you are. Sense the love that you are. Feel the love in this room. Release all judgments and arguments contrary to the truth of your divine nature. The truth that you are love. Affirm this truth. You are love. You are surrounded in a sea of love. Feel that love expanding in you, through you, and as you. And I invite you to repeat this in your own mind. I expect goodness. I accept my goodness. I expect love. I accept love. I expect peace. I accept peace. I am the I am. Breathing in deeply and exhaling fully. Begin to sense yourself in the pew. Take another deep breath in and exhale fully. Perhaps wiggle your fingers and your toes. Give thanks for this sacred and holy time of connection in the collective oneness, this thing called life. Namaste.
Oh, child, things are gonna get easier. Ooh, child, things will get brighter. Ooh, child, things are gonna get easier. Ooh, child, things will get brighter. Someday, yeah, get it together and we'll get it all done. Someday when your head is much lighter. Someday, yeah, things are gonna be easier. Someday your head is much lighter. Oh, child, things are gonna be easier. Ooh, child, things will be brighter. Ooh, child, things are gonna get easier. Ooh, child, things will be brighter. Someday, yeah, we'll get it together and we'll get it all done. Someday when your head is much lighter. Someday, yeah, walk in the rays of a beautiful sun. Someday when the world is much brighter. Someday, yeah, get it together and we'll get it all done. Someday when your head is much lighter. Someday, we'll walk in the rays of a beautiful sun. Someday, things will be brighter. Ooh, child, things are gonna be easier. Ooh, child, things will be brighter. Ooh, child, things are gonna be easier. Ooh, child, things will be brighter. Thank you, Reverend Bobby Becker right here. Thank you.
Yes, things will get easier. Guaranteed. They really have, to some extent. And I'm not talking about the pandemic or anything. There's just some things in life that have gotten easier. Casey, you're going to play a video for me in a minute, so hold that just a second. So first, I need to do a little survey in the room. So how many of you have seen Star Wars? And I don't mean just one or two of them, like you've watched most of them. You saw the first one, which is what, 1978? I don't even know. I just remember, was that what it was? 70, thank you, Casey. I think he just revealed something about himself. And I'm not talking age. I'm talking quality of fan right there. So let me introduce this with this. I was thinking about Boldly Go and how every science fiction film out there has this scene somewhere in the movie to where it's not enough to have a Death Star and a whole bunch of enemy ships. You also got to have an asteroid field. And you know, Star Wars is just a really easy to film to kind of dismantle in a metaphorical way. So when I think about the asteroid field that we are actually ultimately all going to go through, first of all, what you're about to see, I want you to kind of, just for fun, there are two main characters in the scene I'm just going to open to. And I always think when I see this, at least since I've been with Janine, that I am Princess Leia, and she is Han Solo. And she's going to know why, but I'll tell you in a minute why if you don't know Janine. So just imagine that, you know, life is challenging as it is, and then you get to go now through an asteroid field. So, Casey, would you indulge me? A little sound. Oh, that's such a bummer. All right, so I've done this before. No worries. So, it happens. So here's Princess Leia trying to tell Han Solo that he's crazy and that things could not get worse. And he's like, well, hold on just a moment because I've got the answer to it all. And in just a moment, and he's evaded the is it Starfleet? Thank you. And they've almost crashed into one another, but he's got the solution. It's a one-pill solution. And he says, watch this. This is what I'm going to do now. And it doesn't work. He was going to go into light speed, but it didn't happen because in the battle, C-3PO says, did I say that right, CP3O? Thank you. Says, well, we busted some stuff. So he goes, great, let me go fix it. Now, the way Han Solo likes to fix things isn't necessarily, I don't know, someone that really goes into trying to fix something in a traditional way. What he does is usually just beats the hell out of something and hopes it works. That part's not Janine. And then, of course, you get in a little turbulence and he gets injured. That is Janine. And now, as if things could not get worse because light speed isn't working and the ship is basically taped together, he decides this course of action. Now, it's not like he was looking for it, right? How many of you are looking for an asteroid field in your own life? No, they just happen to show up, and he decides to, which I'm going to say is brilliant, Janine. He decides that he can make it through it, and it doesn't matter how it shows up. We're going to do this. We're going to manifest something, and we're going to go through this asteroid field because this is nothing. Right, sweetie? Yeah, cheese pounding, fist pumping in the back. Now the thing is CP3O, C-3PO, thank you, you Star Wars geeks, because I am one too, but when you're up here, it gets hard to remember. He says, there's a 1 in 3,000 chance that you're going to make it through, and he says, and Han Solo says, don't give me data and don't give me odds, because he doesn't believe in them. Janine, sound familiar? Yep, more and more of that. So then he goes and hides. So you can go ahead and stop this video, Casey, because without the sound, it's just me talking. And that's only so much fun. The thing about an asteroid field is if I was to look at an asteroid field and kind of what exactly it could be in life, it's all the stories and the beliefs, the events and the circumstances that we drag right with us all the time. We don't know often when that one asteroid is going to fling from nowhere that we've been carrying and hits us right upside the head. And there are some of you in the room, and Janine is just one of those folks too, which it doesn't matter if it hits you in the head, we're going to make it. It doesn't matter if the navigation system's gone or the steering's gone, we're still going to make it. You need those people. You absolutely need those people. That is not always me. I kind of have to catch up. But it's the place that holds both refuge in this particular case, because he goes and hides on an asteroid that's one of the bigger ones in the group from the Starfleet. But within that too is also the dark side, the shadow side of things. It's the thing that saved him, and it's the thing that's troubling at the same time. Because our gifts lie in both shadow of our lives. Gifts lie there. And as we talked about last week, don't miss out on a good crisis. Because within a crisis, it's not so much the crisis itself, it's how do I show up in it? It's how do I see that crisis? Because guaranteed, and I can't think, maybe only since I've been at Namaste have I ever said, this is a new one. It happens. It's probably not new, but the thing is that there's rarely something new that shows up that we just don't keep repeating in our life. Go ahead and put that first quote up, which is by Ernest Holmes. Healing is not creating a perfect idea or a perfect body. It's revealing an idea which is already perfect. That asteroid field is a perfect idea. And by the way, how many of you know that there is an asteroid field or belt in our own solar system? Come on, geeks, raise your hand. Gail knows, Eileen knows. Eileen, did you know because I said it this morning? Yeah, that's what I thought. She's going for the second matinee today. There's a belt of asteroids between Mars and Jupiter. It's been there since we only know somewhere in the beginning of time. It's not as prevalent, but if you want to know where a lot of asteroids come from, that's where they're coming from. And when I say an asteroid field is a perfect idea, it is a perfect idea of the universe. It's where stars go to die. It's where a host of things go and hang out. In our own lives, it's where beliefs go. They kind of sit in that little pocket. They hide. They rise up at a moment in which we are frustrated, in which we are scared, in which any time life shows up in an unexpected way, I don't know what to do, and I respond in a way that I typically do. Sometimes that's a good way, and when I say good, a positive way. And sometimes we respond in a way that is sort of what Princess Leia was doing, which is beating Han Solo over the head and wondering, why did he take us there? That would be me. Now, when we're in the middle of something, it's really difficult to see a truth, right? When they're in the middle of a crisis, it's really hard to stay calm, right? And a lot of times, it's difficult too because we're trying to change the past. Now, how many of you have been successful with time travel and going back and changing the past? Please, I really would like to know that. Thank you, Sean. So, one of the things, last night, Janine and I were gifted for my birthday. We went and saw Anne Lamott last night, and she was over here at the Carpenter Center. She's the funniest woman on the planet in a very smart way. One of the things that she said, and I think that this is important to note, it was not facing what life dealt that made us crazy, but rather trying to set life straight where it was unstraightable. We try to change the past, which is impossible. That's what the asteroid field is. Instead of, one of the most important things we can do is to accept what the past was, but allow the past and the story we have of the past to transmute, which is to change. Because so often, at least with me, when I am really struggling in a story, it's because that I have artfully and skillfully made myself a victim. As a young person, my asteroid field had to do with being perfect. And so I got hit often with that. So I'd like to read you something. I wrote this a long time ago. In 1989, I was sitting in a room full of men and women in the Los Angeles LDS Mormon temple. I was participating in one of the most important religious rituals as a Mormon, and my life was full of instruction on the importance of this moment and how this moment was the next and most logical step of my eternal journey into greater understanding of my true nature and the path. I actually thought in that room, so let me give you the setting. It's a very sterile room. There's a lot of white in the room. On one side are all the women, and the other side are all the men. And on the side with the women, for those of you that may know me slightly more than others, I was in all white, which is a dress that comes up to here, sleeves that come down to here, and the dress hits me down to here. I was in white slippers, white hose, and funky underwear. I actually liked the funky underwear part, but not so much anymore. But I was also in a veil. That bugged me, but I didn't say it. I didn't say how much what was going on in that room was really bugging me. And as a child, I learned that this was the most special thing you can do, and I did not feel special at all in that moment. And I couldn't say a word in my mind. To add to this, each time I went, because the first time you go for yourself, and then every time after that, you go for someone that has passed, my confusion grew, my frustration with myself grew, I felt out of balance. And the message that was coming out was distressing to me. I was instructed that this was the place where I learned about how to get to heaven, and the only way I could get to heaven was if I had a male escort that was waiting for me at the gate, that would usher me in, and that male escort was either going to be my husband. By the way, I'm gay. A little dilemma there. The second thing was it would have to, if the alternative was it would have to be a worthy member of my family, male. There weren't any. So I was going to be in purgatory, it was looking like, for the rest of eternity. As you go through this process, you walk into a room. By the way, you will never hear this at another church because you're not supposed to talk about it because it is secret. I don't believe in secrets. So I'm giving you the skinny. When you're done with the ritual, I have to be careful not to be completely sacrilegious because I believe the journey was helpful. You go into what's called the celestial room, and you sit there with a lot of other people that look like they're about to either bake bread or get married. I'm not kidding. So I'm looking around and I'm thinking, I would really like to talk to somebody about how I'm feeling. And as I'm looking around, what I hear in the room is, oh my gosh, isn't this the most beautiful thing you've ever been through? This is just so amazing. Don't you just feel Heavenly Father's love? And don't you feel just accepted? And isn't it great that there's a plan which doesn't include me. Here's my asteroid field. I continue to travel with that idea, and so as I realized that, yeah, this is probably not where I'm going to get to talk about how I'm feeling, and as a spiritual journey has many twists and turns, I made a decision on one of those visits to the temple, they call it, and I knew it was my last visit. I did not know what was about to happen because of that choice. You see, last week we were talking about the fact that you have a series of unfortunate events that show up and support you on your journey to move you into your highest and best. And by the way, the discomfort you will feel is out of this world. Because you're invited to step into something that's very different and new, and a lot of people around you are going to be really uncomfortable. And they're going to try and talk you out of it. And they're going to try to scare you out of it. And or just the asteroid field that's going on in your head, that's enough to scare anybody. So here's the deal. Sometimes what the first thing we do when we're frustrated or scared or something's about to change, we try to clean it up. And so let me give you one of my favorite tactics when I'm truly, truly scared, and I like to police my mistakes. What do you think that means? I'd ask my wife, but she's way too quick to tell me what that means. I like to police my mistakes. I've used a different term, I'm going to call it mistakes. It's kind of like an F-bomb, but I don't want to use that here. I police my mistakes. I wanted to today when I broke that damn camera. It's okay. It means I like to make the story that's going to come out, to make it look like I had nothing to do with it in a sense of doing wrong. That's a hard one. Not everywhere, but boy, when I get really scared, it's the first thing I do. Does anybody else do that? Oh, I'm totally alone, right? Go ahead and stretch that one out, okay? What I know is the thing that often that we're most embarrassed or afraid about turns out to be hiding a sacred gift. Being able to step into something that you might feel so scared or ashamed about because we're so used to it keeps us from living our real life, keeps us from being really authentic. And it, most importantly, it reduces our capacity and our ability to play in the creative process. And when I'm talking about creative processes, there is an energy in the universe, and I can use it. And that energy in the universe also uses me. And it doesn't care. It's quite impersonal, and it's perfect in doing things in an impersonal way. So if I want more of, I don't know, feeling poor, I can have as much as I want. If I want peace, I can have as much as I want. But what I cannot do is change my mind back and forth in between. Well, I don't feel rich today, I feel poor today, and not necessarily rich, but I don't feel abundant, I'm poor. Or I'm really frustrated, and let me be careful with this because I think it's really important to tell our stories. But when I repeat the past in my story over and over and over, the universe says, you betcha, because I don't care. So the question is, how can I step out of this? Because the universe is calling. It's always calling. It's always inviting us to step into the truth of who we are. And it's not that for those of you that have heard this, it's not that we're here to heal, it's we're here to reveal. Because we already are what we need to be. We already are whole, perfect, and complete. We just forgot. We heard messages from parents and teachers and friends and spouses and girlfriends and boyfriends and a host of people that have told us this, we believed it, and then we continue to step into that asteroid field and repeat those things over and over and over. And it is up to us. Now, could you put up that next quote, Casey? We must consciously know that we can use creative power. The more complete such acceptance on our part, the more completely we shall be able to use this power for a definite purpose. The trick is that first 1, 2, 3, 4 words. We must consciously know. Most of the time, we walk around unconscious. Most of the time, we walk around in this state of whatever our habit is and how we like to move through, and we repeat over and over in our heads pretty similar messages. So the question is, if the universe is calling and I'm hiding in the asteroid field, like Han Solo's doing, but he's looking for something. He's looking for a place to hang out until it passes, which you can take a bunch of different ways, right? But ultimately, the simple answer is love. It is self-love, it is love of others, but how we get into that is important. How do we get to love? Over the course of my own life, there's been some things I've noticed that are part of my pattern of stepping out of the asteroid mine. There's a point where Han Solo actually comes up and out of it, and he looks down and he sees it. It looks very different when you're up that high or that far out. It's actually the place you want to be. And the first thing is that we need to feed our hope. One of the things that people lose most often is the ability to have hope. And when we lose hope, and I don't mean intermittently, I mean ultimately. I said this a couple of months ago, and when my 2 brothers passed away the end of the year and the beginning of the year, I really believe it was because they lost complete hope. And what's important to know is every one of us has a journey, and I don't believe it's their last chance. I believe sometimes it just works that way. And can I have the compassion and grace to allow folks to lose hope? And that's a hard one, but I have to. I have to feed my hope for my own journey. I have to turn from self-hatred and move into a place that what Kong was doing earlier for the sacred song is God is holding me. Can I really step into this idea that Spirit holds me? The second thing is I need to ask for help. If I do not ask for help, and for those of you that are Lone Rangers in the room, it's going to be tough. Because truly, community, whatever community we happen to be in, is the place where that help can come. Or that help comes as the perfect book, the friend that shows up, the phone call that happens, a movie that inspires us, a person, anyone that cares about us, that sees who we are. That help arrives. Then it is up to us to accept that help or reject that help and think, you know what, I can do it on my own. That is the hard way. The other part that I was thinking about, and from this morning I gave this talk over in Seal Beach, and I was thinking about there's something else in this journey that just keeps popping up, and truly I need to show up. If I do not show up, no matter what, show up as me, the authentic me, but also show up for life. The part of me no one can do. I can be supported and guided and helped, but there's a part that is exclusively me. And that's where I get to show up in life and say, I'm ready. I'm ready to accept the help. I'm ready to nurture what I have to nurture. And the last thing is we open our heart because the answers are within us. We open our heart to being vulnerable, to surrender to the fact that the journey is here for us. Vulnerability is the one thing, and it is the only way to use this creative power. When we take a risk by being true and being vulnerable, our intuition sparks, and it produces what I call magic. That's the magic that shows up at us as us. So I'm going to ask Candace to come up here and help me with something. Now, you're going to have a little grace for Candace. So here's what we're going to do. See this piece of paper? We're going to cut this paper. We're not going to use tape. We're going to cut a hole in it, and it's going to be big enough for Candace and I to step through. That's a good reaction. Yeah. This is really good, right? Okay. So, Candace, I'm going to have you go ahead and start. I'm just going to kind of keep talking. So you're going to start, yeah. So you want to cut the lines just as they are. So I marked the lines because Candace has to do this, and I needed the help. So what's really interesting about life is its little shifts. And has anything ever showed up that you were just completely surprised about, that you thought, no way, that is so cool. No way did that just show up. That person, that book, a quote, whatever it is, it showed up in a way that you just can't explain. She's doing really, really good. Do you need a table or something?
No, I'm hoping it'll stay together.
Me too.
Okay.
Do one more. That one line right there. All right.
The other side too?
Yeah.
Okay.
See, we're not going to use tape. Okay, now Candace, except for the ends here, cut those, okay? Are you still not believing me, Valerie? Isn't it? You're intrigued, aren't you?
Intrigued. I can't wait to see how this goes. Okay.
Only the ends together. Okay.
Yes.
All right, Candace, let's take it apart. You can keep that if you want, Candace. Now, the interesting thing about it is you didn't know how it worked, right? It doesn't mean it's not possible. Yeah. It doesn't mean just because I don't see it that it's not possible. There is always a way. And I'm going to go back to the beginning. You need a Han Solo in your life. Not everybody can have Janine. But you need a Han Solo as part of your own journey, which is in you, which is no matter what shows up, I can make my way through this. And let's say this about, one of the things is that box that I saw myself in, those years ago. This is what I have to say about that box. It's time to not just think or live outside the box. I actually think that's too small and actually avoids what's in the box, right? We need to rescope the box. We need to recycle the pieces so that we can learn from this and repurpose our lives in a new space. And then when we're ready, we bless it we invest in time in our journey, and we find a way to step through the impossible, even without, being able to travel the speed of light. So with that, I'm going to invite our music team forward here because I'm going to say the prayer more in the giving time. So Kong, I think you and I are going to work together on this, right? We're going to work together on this little song, which is, if you are able, I'm going to ask that you stand. There's one thing that's really, really important about the journey. As I mentioned before, having hope, asking for help, showing up, and opening our heart. All of that is held in a container, which Kong is going to sing to us about. Irreverently, I hope.
Are you doing a prayer, or did you already do it?
Oh, no, you're going. I'm going to do the prayer
Sure,
after
can you do a few
it.
prayers? No, I'm just kidding.
Should we do
I'll take it. All right, cool. One.
In the famous words of Billy Joel,
This is Billy Joel. Yep, keeping the
the
faith.
philosopher.
If it seems like I've been lost, then let's remember. If you think I'm feeling older and missing my younger days, oh, then you should have known me so much better. 'Cause my past is something that never got in my way. Still, I would not be here now if I never had the hunger. Not ashamed to say the wild boys were my friends. 'Cause I never felt their desire, so their music set me on fire, and then I was saved. That's why I'm keeping the faith. Yeah, 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 keeping the faith. More Matador boots, only flag brothers had them with the Cuban heel. Iridescent socks with the same color shirt and a tight pair of chinos. I put on my shark skin jacket, you know, the kind with the velvet collar and Diddy Bob shades. I took a fresh pair of Luckies and a mint called Sensen. My old man's Trojans and his Old Spice aftershave. I comb my hair in a pompadour. Rest of those Romeos wore in a permanent way. Yeah, we're keeping the faith. Yeah, 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 keeping the faith. You can get just so much from a good thing. You can linger too long in your dreams. Say goodbye to the oldies, but the goodies. 'Cause the good old days weren't always good, and tomorrow ain't as bad as it seems. Stickball is a formal education. Lost a lot of fights, but it taught me how to lose okay. I heard about sex, but not enough. I found you could dance and still look tough anyway. I found out a man ain't just being macho. Ain't an awful lot of late night driving, drink a whole lot of take home pay. Thought I was a Duke of Earl when I made it with a redhead girl in a Chevrolet. Yeah, keeping the faith. Yeah, yeah, keeping the faith. Now I told you my reasons for the whole revival. Now I'm going outside to have an ice cold beer in the shade. Gonna listen to my 45s. Ain't it wonderful to be alive when the rock and roll plays? Oh yeah, when the memories stay. Yeah, 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 keeping the faith. Keeping the faith. Keeping the faith. Keeping the faith.
There was a few of those lines we were a little nervous about. Not so bad, was it?
No. I mean, I don't remember, but it seems good.
Oh. So I think that the way through isn't unrealistic optimism, but we have to have optimism. We have to see the potential and possibility, or it cannot happen. Which means if we don't like the way the world is, we cannot continue to feed it what we don't like. That doesn't mean we don't speak up. That doesn't mean we don't state when something is an injustice. But what it does mean is that we are the key. Little by little, shift by shift, that's what we get to do. So as we move into this conscious giving, I'm just going to ask a quick question of folks. If there was one thing in the world that you'd like to change right now, looking around, whether it's your own life or in the world around you, what would that be? Stop the war? Was that you, Eileen? What do I want to see more of? Change the face in the mirror. What else? More joy? Abundance. So if that's what we want in the world, what am I bringing? It's just a question. Not to elicit guilt or shame, but just to ask myself, how do I want to bring it? What do I want to be? And it's up to us to keep the faith, not other people. It's up to us. And we do that until others can too. So this is the time of our conscious giving, which I would like to also offer up a prayer. Let me just go over to our affirmation for conscious giving. So I'm going to say a prayer, and then we're going to say this together. For those of you that are new, we say and use what's called an affirmative prayer. I'm not praying to anyone. I'm praying within. I'm revealing, acknowledging, recognizing, I'm unifying, and I'm declaring truth. And that truth has to be something that I truly believe. And when a practitioner, by the way, if you need prayer afterwards, back in this left corner, my left, they first hold it for themselves. And they hold it for you as how they see you until you believe. So you're really praying as yourself, knowing that the universe is always listening and we're part of it. We are one with all that there is. So as this prayer comes, one of the things I know, and we start with this recognition that God is all there is. There is one power and there's one presence. It's all things, all of creation, not just the planet, it's the universe. It's the qualities of things like abundance and peace and wisdom and joy. And it is those things that are that are the universe that are also within me, so I am one with it, and I know that truth for everyone here. So what I declare right here and right now is, as peace I am, and as I am, it is. I am peace, and I hold that peace for Ukraine and any other country, for it is not just Ukraine. So I hold that peace as who we are, and I speak that peace in the face of anything else that is contrary to that. I know that we're all abundant. The very fact that we're sitting in this room means we're abundant because we had time and the presence and a host of things to sit in this room because we chose to show up to be something bigger. And that we have all the wisdom, what we need within us. I know that is true for all. And so it is. So through our conscious giving, there's a basket. I think it's right there. Yeah, just would you hold your hand up, Paulette, just to thank you so much. There's a basket there, but you can also give online. Why do we do this? Why do we ask you to give? Because this is the community that continues to give in this way. And by giving, we get. And it affords us the consciousness of not just taking. It affords us the consciousness of being part of that reciprocal nature of the universe. That we are part of that oneness. That we are that which gives and receives. So it has to be both, or we cannot learn this lesson. And it doesn't matter whether you give here or somewhere else. It's giving. So if you could put the affirmation up, Casey, the next slide. Not that one. Go back one. Keep going. Right there. Nice work. So say this with me. And just, if you could take whatever your gift is and put it, whether you give of yourself, of your time, we call time, talent, treasure, and just hold that gift, whatever that is on your heart. And whatever's within you to resist, good to look at it. And just hold that gift. The abundance of all good. So you're going to say this with me. Ready? The abundance of all good surrounds me and operates through me. I accept in faith God's plenty as mine and of Namaste. I accept it with gratitude and joy and use it with wisdom as the inlet and outlet to all that God is. I affirm this is true, and so it is. And if we could just go to our benediction slide. So please stand. We will say the benediction and close with our closing song. So I know something's going on in life. Some of you know too. So tell me, what's going on? Something wonderful is happening through me right now. What is it called? Where is it? Life is in my body. Life is all that I am. Life is all that we are. There is 4 places life exists. Did you know that? 4. So what am I going to do with it? I accept it. I am it. I share it with all. Just the way it appears, and just the way it appears not. Wait! You thought I was going to let you go there. Gratitude. Life, I love that Anne Lamott said this. She said, the fact that we even made it alive here is amazing. But we forget that because it just seems so... I don't know, what's the word? Somebody give me a word. Routine. It's not. The fact that you are walking around with all parts operating, mostly, is pretty amazing, right? So from your toes, let that gratitude move up through your body. Now say this. Thank you, life.
have come together as family. We have come here as we are. As we have come with arms wide open. We have gathered here in love. Oh, Spirit is in this, Spirit is in this place. Spirit is in this, Spirit is in this place. Spirit is in this, Spirit is in this place. Raise the roof with shouts of praise. Spirit's in this place. We sing in celebration. We whisper words of prayer. Words of prayer. We affirm our life as sacred. We declare that peace is here. Oh, Spirit is in this, Spirit is in this place. Spirit is in this, Spirit is in this place. It's right here. Spirit is in this, Spirit is in this place. Raise the roof with shouts of praise. Spirit's in this place. Spirit's in this place. Spirit's in this place. Spirit's in this place. Thank you, Namaste.
Thank you.
Thank you, Bobby.
Thank you, Kong and Des and Casey and Chuck and Candace and our welcome team, Eileen C. Davis, Julie Geno, and Tori for setting up, Tangi for setting up, Veronica for opening, and have a great week. Thank you, Namaste.